everyone, today I wanted to show you a quick way of how to explore your art supplies, but in the combination with the girls illustration. So what we were doing last time is kind of a similar thing, but today I want to mix two art supplies, so like for example a watercolor with acrylic inks within the hair area. But to have a larger hair area, we need to create a hairstyle that would allow us to do it. And here are a couple of examples that I was working on and really enjoyed it. So I think I will show it to you today. One, there is like a single bun that is really exaggerated and it's quite big. Or there is this sort of like balloon shapes or bunny ears, anything you can do. I've done these a bit more rounded to make them look like balloons, but really it doesn't matter. Just be quite, you know, wild with your imagination and you could create loads of different shapes. But today I want to show you how I did this one here. And I want to explore this combination here, which I think there is a video of this page that I did. So it was just a way of getting myself out of a creative rut, just by exploring with my favorite art supplies, different colors, different mediums, and just go for it and see what kind of combinations I might find inspiring and want to take into creating art, which evidently happened this way. So we then went into creating these girls' faces and I really enjoyed it. So I will show you how to draw a really simple girl with those balloon hair style. Is it yes, it's Jeff Koons. I was just double checking. So it really reminds me of his balloon bunnies, these sort of shapes. Although I have to say I wasn't really thinking of it when I was first drawing. So I will be brave and I will go straight in with a fountain pen. And it's important to have an ink that's waterproof. So this is a carbon, platinum carbon ink. With waterproof black ink in there.
Your angel eyes tell me not to doubt, but another story's going round all over town. Guess you think I'm blind, or maybe that I'm dumb, but in the end you know what, a ghost will come around. We could have been doing just great, but you throw a good thing away. We're up, wanting me to love you. You're so out of line, and what am I to tell you? But you're out of time. Ain't got no illusion, we shouldn't lie. Your words they can't
Okay.
nothing, but you're out of
So nose, we forgot the nose. I usually do the nose when I'm doing the lips. I'm going to give her a little nose. You can make the nose look bigger by just spreading the space between the nostrils. So that is it. It took us like what, with the chit-chatting, couple of minutes. So in terms of how to create the art bit of things, there's two stages. So I like to break it down into the hair, which is the kind of creative, kind of abstract art space for us to be doing that, and then the face. So do one or the other. I wouldn't suggest doing or working on both at the same time, because you don't want this, or maybe you do. I personally didn't want the acrylic ink starting to run into the face, because these are very strong colors. I wanted them to be separated in that hair area and stay kind of quite crisp, you know, behind the lines. So depending what you're into, you can do it that way. So I am going to, let's do the face first. So for the face, I'm going to swap to a smaller brush, and the lip I like to use a colored pencil, as I've done here everywhere, and I think, have I done it here as well? Yes, so I've used the colour pencil. I don't know, there's something about the colour pencil that I like to use on the lips lately, and I have enjoyed doing that. So I'm just going to do the face, and the face I have started using Ecoline in pink beige, which I find is a perfect colour for Caucasian skin tone. If I want something very easy, something very light, without needing to mix up anything, without pulling out my watercolour palettes, and just, you know, drop with a pipette and off you go. I have showed you in this illustration how to build up layers and have these kind of beautiful marks there if you wanted to achieve that. So you could do it by building up the colors, or you could do it quite lightly, just one coat of it. You don't have to build it up too strongly, but you do have the option if you wanted to. So I'm just going to give her a very strong kind of shadow. I always like to add a bit of shadow on the eye. And also around the eye in general, because this is where the eyeshadow would go, because I don't want to fuss about with the eyeshadow now. I just want it to be quite, you know, light. I'm going to use a almost dry brush with a little bit of water on top and kind of soften these edges, just a slightly different style to what we did here. And you can see now we have a strong kind of shadow mark there and very light softened out around the eye. So that's a different thing you can try. I'm going to leave it at that because I want to focus on the art aspect of the other part of the hair. I'm going to switch to another, or switch rather, I'm going to switch to another brush. So this is the Quill 10-0, and this one was the Silver Black Velvet Round 4, which is great for this size of illustrations. I'm swapping to another brush because I need this brush to hold more water. And what I'm going to do, actually I'll show it to you on this side first. We're going to cover the area that we have assigned for the art, or the abstract art rather, with water. So it needs to be quite wet here, and make sure the paper is glistening. When it's not, it means that the water is drying. It usually happens around the edges quite quickly. Also make sure there's not a big puddle, because if there's a big puddle, what's going to happen, the colors are going to just shoot. We need there to be a little bit of resistance. So for this I will need, I didn't prepare, did I? So for that, what did I use here last time? Yellow ochre. So here is what we're going to do. We're going to do this effect. This is a Viridian watercolor, and this is the Rowney FW acrylic ink in yellow ochre. Alright, so here it is, the Schmincke Viridian. It's a color I have added recently to my palette. It's once it dries in a drop like this, or yeah, in a drop of paint, it's quite difficult to revat it. So what I would recommend is immediately make it into a lovely creamy puddle, and when it dries this way, it's much easier to revat it. So we've got this color ready to go, and that will just come from the pipette, as you'll see in a minute. So again, I'm going to go ahead and check that everything is wet. It started drying up a little bit, so it's going to be quite easy to just go over it quickly here. And now what I'm going to do is go into the color, the watercolor, and just touch it in some areas like so. I'll probably just do around it here, and you can see again there's a white line. If you wanted to perfect it and not have this white gap there between the ink line and the watercolor, then you can just go around it and help it a little. And depending where you want to build it up again, you can just dab it in. But don't use your brush too many times because it will start disturbing the textures. So now I'm going to go ahead and just literally dab the yellow and leave it at that, not touching anything. We're not going to do here anything else. Now I'm going to go ahead and do the same on the other side of the ear. I'm going to hold the paper down because, as you can see, it's rounding up. I'm right at the edge, or at the end rather, of the sketchbook. This is the Stillman, no it's not. This is the Strathmore Mixed Media sketchbook, I believe. And I have only a few pages left, which is so exciting because I love finishing sketchbooks. It really feels like an achievement. It means that you have been creating, you have been doing artsy stuff. And it also means that I can do a flip through, which I love both watching and filming. So there we go, we'll leave it at that. And then I will also, actually here I will go straight in with the watercolor without adding any water, or yeah. So I'm just going to go to the smaller brush again because I don't want to go outside of lines. This part I want to be quite neat, and so I'm going to go right at the corners here, which are very, very thin. And I just touched the water here, and I will let it happen naturally. So whatever yellow will flow into this, I'm okay with that. That's exactly the process of art that I wanted to have in this type of illustration. So we've got something really interesting going on. In fact, it's now floating also into that area here, which what I may do is use the gravity of physics, pull some more into her area of the head, and then that flows into here. And I might just leave it like that. I might not even use any yellow in this area and just let it dry as it is. There's some little speckles of acrylic ink. Sometimes when it doesn't mix properly, you can get these little bits and pieces. Okay, I actually quite like how this looks, and I think what I may do, instead of putting a big drop, I think I'm just going to take some right here onto the edge of my brush and just touch it ever so slightly. I think that would be enough, just those two areas, just to mimic the color a little bit more, just to connect it all. Okay, I'm not able to lift my finger here, so I'm just going to go ahead, dry it with a heat gun, and we'll come back and finish off the face. Okay, so mostly it is dry. Still on this area it's not, but I will let it dry naturally. So what I'm going to do is just create a little note on the side of the things that I have used. So it's going to be this beautiful watercolor and this acrylic ink. So you can see how really strong it is, like acrylic paint, but you can, with a lot of water, this is a pigment-based product, so you can create lighter washes with it. And then I thought I quite like this softening, and because here what we've done is we did some layering. So what I'm going to do here is actually just create a different effect. So what I'm going to do is use a smaller brush on the previous page, just to show that, you know, we can create these layered overlook. And then here I'm going to do the opposites. I'm going to add water to the bottom of it and really blend it out to like nothing. So we have the same product but in two different ways of using it, which I quite liked. Gives you a nice difference, really. Okay, I'm going to title these colors, and then we're going to finish with the lips and the eyes, which is a really easy and quick job, and we're done. Okay, so here we go. Layered and soft edge Ecoline, so that way I can differentiate. Okay, eyes are super easy. And the thing that I'm into with my eyes lately is basically two pencils combo. It's the Luminance by Caran, Dark Indigo and Pink White. Them two together were made in heaven. So, or a match made in heaven, that's it. I just add a little bit of color, don't fill in the entire eye with it, simply because I don't like the look. As odd as it sounds, I like the eyes to be transparent and have a lot of white in there. I tried many things, and I know that I like minimal color. So what I'm going to do here is I'm just going to also make a note of that. Just kind of layering the colors. This is super tiny, but I'll probably just swatch a bigger swatch here. It's so creamy, this color. It's really beautiful. In general, the Luminance pencils are like that. There are a few odd ones, but with the exception of those colors, they're beautiful. So that's the eye. Once everything is done, I like to addition the lip color. So let me just quickly write down Caran Luminance, and that was Dark Indigo, Dark Indigo, and Pink White. Yep, Pink White. So here's a nice little reference of things. I was just going to elongate this swatch just to make it a bit more prominent. Just to show this middle color that the white pulls out of Dark Indigo. Okay, lips. So what I like to do is take a bunch of colors. So we could do like a nude type of a color. We could do like a beige, like a neutral color. There's another one of those. Yeah, that would do. And I think, what's this one? This is a bit too nude, isn't it? But let me just swap it. I'm thinking of keeping it nude because we have this green and yellow, and I wouldn't want to add anything else. I mean, this is probably a bit too deadly, so any one of those would be a better match. Maybe even this kind of pink. Yeah, that would be good. Alright, so let me swatch these colors out. We'll start with the burnt ochre 50%. Just to audition these colors a little bit. for her lips, so that could be a good one. And then next one would be this color. That's a beautiful sort of like a blush, peachy blush. And which one was that? So this was her Herculaneum red. Next color we have, this is a bit probably dark. This is the Dark Flesh 40%, and then we have Burnt Sienna 10%. Now this one tends to be quite scratchy. So looking at all these colors, I actually quite like the Herculaneum red. So let me go ahead, title them before I forget, and then we'll finish with the lip. Okay, so I have my Herculaneum red ready for the lip because it's a small space and I like to stay within the lines. I tend to sharpen them, and basically that way I can get right into all of these corners and stay within the line. There is time and place. I've done lips where they're quite sort of scribbly and sketchy, and it really looked quite lovely. This is a gorgeous lip color. Beautiful. So it's not distracting from the art, and this is what I wanted it to be. I wanted the face to be all quite soft and then have the color going on here. So I also sometimes can do a bit of a darker outlining from the colors that I already selected. So burnt ochre, for instance. Is it burnt ochre 50%? Yep. I could do a little lip liner imitation just by going right on the edges, but not covering the black line, just above it, like so. All it's going to do is just create a pouty lip, as we have darker outline and then kind of lighter pinkier color. And these colors blend so well together, so then go ahead and blend the Herculaneum red on top of it, so you're not going to see a line there being quite sort of obvious. So that is it. That was super fun. So I'll make a little note of the colors that we used just by putting a little dot, and actually here I've done these two for the lip liner and the color. And what have I done here? Oh, don't remember actually, but I think it was this russet. Yeah, it was the russet, and then for the lip liner I went ahead with natural russet, so I'll put little 2 dots there. So let me give you a close up. She's still drying right up there, but you can see how beautiful this looks. So it's a neat little way of combining face illustrations and a bit of abstract art, and just playing around, and it's something a little different. If you hate drawing hair or if you find it challenging, then this is a good way of doing things. Thanks for watching and see you soon.